Hello guys, and welcome back to our channel. Now in today's video, I want us to take a look at a shocking turn of events following the Oval Office meeting between President Zelensky and Donald Trump. Now, despite the tense exchange, Zelensky's words have resonated with many Americans, leaving them baffled and embarrassed by the behavior of Trump and JD Vance. Now, as one sister already has put it, I hope every American is completely baffled and embarrassed by the behavior of JD Vance and Trump towards President Zelensky. Another lady warned, European world leaders, they are bullies and they will discard you on a drop of a heart. Now, at the heart of the controversy is Zelensky's bold statement. You will feel it soon. The influence. Trump's response, don't tell us what's going to happen, only fueled the fire. Now, as we explore Zelensky's perspective from the outside offers unique insight into the Trump administration's dynamics, and his words have sparked a very important conversation about American foreign policy and global leadership. So with that said, let's get into the videos as different people share their thoughts on this. I will be right back.
I hope every American is completely baffled and embarrassed by the behavior of JD Vance and Trump today towards President Zelensky. I thought it was bad listening to Trump have conversations with other world leaders, but JD Vance really took the cake today. He cannot be in conversations with world leaders. He cannot be trusted because everything that he said was extremely inflammatory and it was on purpose. Not only did he show that he doesn't have decorum or respect for a president that is actively fighting for the sovereignty of his nation and his democracy, but he showed that he does not know what's going on. You know, in those group of friends where there's that one leader and then the other one who's just trying to impress that person all the time, making jokes, making fun of people just to get their attention and get a chuckle out of the other one? That's JD Vance, just a loser, trying to do anything just to impress Donald Trump so he can get a pat on his head and say, "Good job, boy, you did a good job today." This is the same administration that is actively taking money out of the American people's pockets by taking away jobs from people that actually voted for him, allowing a billionaire who is not an elected official to be able to have access to some of our most sacred data, all for the name of what? Efficiency? That's not about efficiency. If you guys are not seeing what he's doing, he's trying to save as much money as possible to be able to afford tax breaks for the billionaires, for the 1%. This is not about the American people. This is not about making the government more efficient. If it was about that, they would go through Congress. They would go through the legislature. This is all a sham, and we're actively being scammed every single day. And it's time that we stand up for ourselves. Enough is enough.
Listen, I just did a live, and I must do this video and post it on all my platforms. That took place today, you know, news media is loving it, right? This is why they work so hard to talk down about Joe Biden and not about Trump, because they wanted Trump back in office because Trump equals good ratings for mainstream news media. And after what went down today, you know they are salivating, thinking that you are going to be tuning in to MSNBC and CNN. Do not do it. Go over there to YouTube, watch Roland Martin, watch Don Lemon, watch The Midas Touch. I recommend those 3 channels. They are over there. Don Lemon right now is live. Go over there and give them your view. Do not turn on mainstream news media.
Boy, the president of Ukraine is a better man than me. Dog, Secret Service be damned, police, military. I don't give that we are in your house, in your room. But talking to me, the way that JD Vance and Trump was just talking to the president of Ukraine, would have got 2 people slapped so swiftly on this beautiful Friday afternoon. Y'all got, man, somebody, listen, bro, I get it. You voted for him. I guess you're happy you won. I never seen so many sore winners, but whatever, that's a different story. But being that reckless, like, this is why being qualified for positions is important. Because having a president of the objectively the most powerful country on the planet that does not understand how important international relations is to everything that has to do with his job. Not only that, to everything that has to do with the American people's way of life. Like, how do you not understand how pivotal and important international relations is to the stock market, to the economy, to all of the import and export, and ultimately how much a dollar is worth? But to sit on national TV, international TV, in front of the world and ask me some goofy like, did you ever say thank you?
This show that just happened in the Oval Office with J.D. Vance and Trump that set up Zelensky to browbeat him in front of the world is a disgrace to the United States. You European world leaders need to understand one thing about the current administration in America. They are bullies. They are bullies. And they will discard you on a drop of a hat. Keir Starmer came here and the only thing left to do was for him to get on his knees and give Trump it's a disgrace. England, the Europeans should never have left the European Union. But you let right-wing radicals convince you that you are better off on your own. Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, and none of this American administration can be trusted with anything. They will discard you like a piece of the minute that you cross them. So the rest of the world better get their act together and forget about the United States. You know what MAGA means to the rest of the world? Make America go away.
One of the biggest things that Zelensky said in that press conference in the Oval Office with Trump that Trump got so mad about was the fact that you will feel it soon, the influence. And Trump was like, don't tell us what's going to happen. Don't tell us about. And you know what? Zelensky is right. Zelensky has this perspective from the outside that those Trump administrations and even Trump himself can't even see in his little echo chamber. His actions, just like James Carville was predicting 4 to 6 weeks, the elimination of Medicaid, the elimination of SNAP benefits, within those 4 to 6 weeks, just like Zelensky was talking about, you will feel it. You will feel it. And Trump was like, don't come into our house and tell us what's going to happen to us. Basically, that's what he was saying. Zelensky was right. And that's what pissed him off so bad. He knows it's coming. That's why they're trying to get everything done. And it's about to hit the brakes. It is about to hit the freaking brakes. And Trump knows it. He was just pissed that someone would call it out to his face.
What happened in the Oval Office today is the energy that Black people have received for as long as we've been here. That's the energy. Every day of our Black lives, we deal with that kind of energy from white people.
President Zelensky of Ukraine, I want to apologize on behalf of the American people for the way you were treated today at the White House by the president and the vice president. No one should extend an invitation to you to come and visit them at their house, our house, the White House, and be treated like that. Again, I apologize on behalf of the American people, and I hope millions from around the world and here in the United States will join with me. Thank y'all for listening, and good day.
You know, it all seemed to be going so well. Then things between Donald Trump and Volodymyr Zelensky went jaw-droppingly wrong and jaw-droppingly fast. Now, in a few astonishing minutes, a diplomatic photo opportunity in the Oval Office that was meant to be a step on the path to peace between Ukraine and Russia descended into a blazing road that has left Kyiv's fate hanging in the balance. Despite tensions after Trump's recent outreach to Ukraine's motto for Russia and his calling Zelensky a dictator last week, they had managed to strike a cordial tone for the first 40 minutes. As two former television personalities, they both knew how to play to the cameras. They shook hands. Ex-reality TV star Trump gently joked about Zelensky's outfit, a less military-style shirt than Ukraine's wartime leader normally wears. Now, former comedian Zelensky at the White House, to sign a deal on rare minerals and to keep Trump on side, kept things toned down as they sat in armchairs beside each other and fielded questions. Then suddenly, things exploded. And what followed was perhaps one of the most extraordinary scenes ever to play out in the Oval Office. He hallowed heart of the presidency, where U.S. leaders have long hosted their foreign counterparts. It was Vice President J.D. Vance who lead the touch paper for the meltdown in relations. Now, leading into his growing role as an attack D for Trump, Vance accused Zelensky of not being thankful for U.S. support when the Ukrainian leader questioned his close diplomacy with Moscow. I think it's disrespectful for you to come to the Oval Office and litigate this in front of the American media, said Vance, sitting on a sofa near the two leaders. As the temperature rose, Zelensky folded his arms and asked Vance if he had ever been to Ukraine, prompting the vice president to angrily accuse Zelensky of leading propaganda tours. But then it was Trump's turn to get involved, when Zelensky said that despite being an ocean away from Europe, you'll feel it in the future if you don't help Kyiv. Trump was incensed. "Don't tell us what we're going to feel," Trump said, raising his voice. Now, after that, the floodgates opened. All the tensions that have bubbled since Trump spoke to Russian President Vladimir Putin on February 12th boiled over. And not behind closed doors, but in the full glare of the world's media, including AFP journalists. You are gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III, and what you're doing is very disrespectful to this country, Trump said. Red-faced and furious, Trump wagged his finger at Zelensky as his voice rose higher. At one point, he lightly shoved Zelensky's upper arm with his hand as he made his points. Now, for Zelensky, it turned into an ambush as the gruff-voiced Ukrainian kept trying to make his points while Trump berated him. "Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly," he said to Vance at one point before Trump leaped in. "He's not speaking loudly," said Trump. When Zelensky asked if he could answer, Trump continued, No, you've done a lot of talking. Your country is not winning." The U.S. president, long skeptical of U.S. support for Kyiv, then delved into a litany of grievances about Ukraine. Trump even expressed solidarity with Kremlin chief Putin. "Let me tell you, Putin went through a hell of a lot with me. He went through a phony witch hunt," said Trump, referring to an investigation during his first term into whether his 2016 election campaign colluded with Moscow. As the clash continued for some 5 minutes, reporters frantically filmed and tapped on their phones while a Ukrainian diplomat buried her head in her hands. Now, in case you missed it, this is exactly what happened. The collapse of U.S. support for Ukraine against Russia, at least for now, had played out in real time. "You have to be thankful you don't have the cards," Trump said, adding a bit later, "You gotta be more thankful." "Have you said thank you once this entire meeting?" Vance asked. Now, Trump might have been referring to Zelensky's posture toward Trump in particular, as Vance appeared to be. But as their heated exchange with Zelensky reverberates around the world, it's worth noting that Zelensky has thanked the United States on numerous occasions since Russia launched its full-scale invasion in February 2022, expressing gratitude to Trump and President Joe Biden, to members of Congress from both parties, to U.S. defense companies and their employees, and to the American people. You know, Zelensky's words were not a threat, but a fact. He was simply stating the reality of the situation, that the consequences of the Trump administration's actions will soon be felt, and this is not a matter of if, but when. Now, the Trump administration's reaction to Zelensky's statement is telling. Trump's defensiveness, "Don't tell us what's going to happen," reveals a deep-seated insecurity and lack of self-awareness. It's a classic case of pew-pewing the messenger rather than confronting the uncomfortable truth. Zelensky's perspective as an outsider looking in is invaluable. Like, he has a unique vantage point from which to observe the Trump administration's dynamics, and his words offer a much-needed wake-up call. The fact that he's willing to speak truth to power when in the face of hostility is a testament to his courage and leadership. The American people would do well to listen to Zelensky's words and take heed. The consequences of the Trump of the Trump administration's actions will indeed be felt, and it's important that people are prepared. By ignoring Zelensky's warning, people are risking being caught off guard, and that would be a mistake of monumental proportions. We have finally come to the end of the video, but what do our viewers have to say? Share your thoughts, your views as well in the comment section. Thank you for always watching, and see you in our next video as we bring you another interesting video.